Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to WeLoveMetal.com. We are on the line with Matt Dalton of Dirtfest. How are you doing today, Matt?
Doing very well. Thank you very much for having me on.
Excellent. Before we get started in the amazing lineup you guys have put together this year, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the festival and how we've gotten to 2011?
Absolutely. This whole ordeal kind of started off back in the late 90s. A buddy of mine that I worked at a record store with had a band as well, and we were just both kind of the kind of guys that would do stuff real DIY because there wasn't any other opportunities in our area at all, and we just kind of rented out a park and said, hey, let's have our friends come out and watch our bands play outside in this park, and a bunch of people showed up, and it was pretty cool, and just kind of started building upon it as the years went on, and building and building and building, and it turned into having better local bands and better regional bands, and brought us into the mid-2000s where I started bringing in a lot of national acts and really taking it to something that gained a lot of national notoriety. I remember we got some press on MTV that year, and it really kind of just took off and became something that none of us expected it to become from those humble beginnings. And it's cool to see that we've been able to maintain its longevity over the last few years, especially when times have been tough. There's been a lot of festivals around the country that had a good name for themselves that kind of had to fold under the pressure of the economy, and we've kind of done our best to ensure that this one doesn't go away because people really seem to enjoy it, and we kind of try to make it something different from whatever else is happening, from that year, because there's definitely a lot of festivals popping up here and there and everywhere, and we try to make the Dirtfest have a different spin.
Definitely. The August 13th is the day at the Birch Run Expo Center, and the most amazing thing you guys do, and I'll let you lead it in, because for $20, tell people what they get.
It's a pretty big bang for the buck for $20. I mean, 5 stages, over 70 bands. At any given point of the day, you can walk to any of those stages, and someone will be playing, and the national acts go all day long. So there's definitely a lot of bang for that dollar, and it's a wide variety. I mean, there's a lot of metal on the show, but we kind of try to branch it off into every which direction so that if the minute or a leaf somewhere here or there or whatever, there's going to be something interesting happening on one of those stages for sure.
Excellent. We can't keep people waiting any longer. Who's headlining this year?
We've got All That Remains, Silverstein, Times of Grace, which is Adam D. of Killswitch Engage, and Jesse the old there, and who else do we have? Alien Ant Farm, Hawthorne Heights, Evans Blue, and a bunch more bands. I mean, you can go to dirtfest.com to get the full lineup, but those are a lot of the main points, and pretty excited to have a wide variety again this year, kind of keeping with, like I said, the variety that the show has always been known for.
Excellent. And, I've looked up over the years the things you've done, and I mean, you've had some big names and just a wide variety, as you've been saying, but how do you continue to grow it every year? Because it seems to get bigger every year. Yeah,
we definitely do try to, with any business model, to start talking, boring business talk. I mean, if you're not growing, then you're failing. So we've just tried to find ways to, cut corners on spending, but still find ways to not under-deliver on what we offer to the public, because that's always been the main thing. I mean, this whole thing started off as being something that benefited me and my friend as just like a way for us to get our bands in front of the people. So I guess, over the years, we try to make sure that that's the main focus, is get people's bands in front of people that want to learn about new music. And not everybody's got a whole bunch of money in their pocket right now, so we want to make sure that we keep a low price so that people can still come back, year after year and tell their friends and bring more people and just hopefully get more exposure for everybody that wants to make it in this crazy music business, I suppose.
And that exposure is obviously important, but one of the things that fascinated me with the focus that you put on local talent, it must be quite a learning experience for those younger bands coming up. I mean, they're playing alongside All That Remains, the Black Dahlia Murder. We're talking some big names, so they must be learning as well.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we try to do, kind of behind the scenes with this festival, for any of you local bands listening, is kind of give you like a crash course education of what it is to be involved in the higher echelon of the music entertainment. And bands are around their friends and families that, the hall shows or pay to play play Battle of the Band type shows where they're not really around, the real deal. They're not getting pushed to learn what it takes to be on the road. They're not getting pushed to learn what it takes to conduct themselves in a professional manner. And we try to get everybody reeled in. We have a real good email list about what it is that you need to do to stay on track for promoting your band, what it takes to stay on track for being prepared for the day of show, so that your actual set time is something that comes across as professional, and you're not taking 5 minutes in between songs to switch guitars or tune your guitars, and all those little things. Even if you go on our website and you look at our submissions page for how your band can play the show, we give you a whole big explanation about how it's important to have a professional press kit, whether it's an online press kit or a hard copy mail-in press kit, and just kind of give people that little extra push so that some of these bands that have musical talent can back it up with having some professionalism and hopefully take themselves to the next level. And we've prided ourselves as being the vehicle for a lot of those bands. I mean, a lot of bands that played our festival have gone on to get record contracts as a result of industry people being at the show, and been very proud of a lot of the bands that have gone on from Derfest and really made a dent in the world music.
Yeah, and I would like to have that point re-expressed as well, because the nature of my business, obviously, with blogging and reporting, press kits are very important. I don't know how much talent I've had to overlook because I just couldn't get the proper information. So
absolutely.
Just on a side note, something funny, how many hours are you putting in right now?
Oh gosh, I mean, between this festival, I don't know what a bed looks like. I run the festival, and I run a recording studio for the rest of the day, so it's kind of like I'm at the control room, and then I'm on my computer, and I'm back and forth, and summer's always a hectic time, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This is kind of what I signed up for, and you hope to make a living doing music, and here I am doing it, so I'm not going to complain about the hours.
Awesome. And one of your sponsors is Killer Tours, and I see that there's a contest running. Would you mind explaining how that works?
You can basically just go to killertours.com. They have most of the information about how to enter, and we'll be giving away a pair of tickets, and looking forward to whoever wins those coming out and having a good time. Not a whole lot of details to really have to sift through, but yeah, just head over to their website, and all the information is there.
Awesome. Just to get a little feel of your personal style, I mean, this thing keeps getting bigger, but if you could have any 4 bands on your stage in a given year, who would it be?
Oh, wow, that would be... Oh, man. I would probably try to bring out Silverchair. That's always been one of my favorite bands for as long as I can remember. Most people only remember them as being the little 15-year-old grungy kids that sounded like Nirvana, but they've put out some incredible albums over the years. I would love to see Acceptance get back together and do some kind of performance. That would just blow my mind if I could watch that band play. Beyond that, I mean, I'm really into Meshuggah's live show. I think that would be nice to have them on a Derfest. And if I could, Faith No More would probably have to be the ultimate.
I'd probably come down to Birch Run to see that, just to let you know.
It would be a wacky display, but you would find me up front for the entire duration.
And just before we wrap up, Matt, is there any thought of expanding this to 2 or 3 days? I mean, has that run through your guys' minds?
It's definitely been something that we've thought about, and I think that the amount of punch that we pack into one day, on the production side of it, we haven't decided if we want to go to a 3-day thing yet, only because of the area that we're in. The mid-Michigan area, if you look at it on a map, I mean, we're basically kind of boxed in by water on all sides, and the only way to access us outside of ferry boat or Canada is coming up through Ohio if you wanted to come from elsewhere. So we're kind of a weird spot to be in, and we're happy that the people that do come to this, but I don't know that we're in a geographic position to turn this into one of those kind of camp out 3-day festivals yet, but there's definitely have some plans to try to do something outside of this area, maybe not with the Derfest, but definitely with the same core group of people that are putting this on, bring something of similar ilk to sense for us.
Well, I don't know. You get a bunch of us crazy Canadians down there, and it might make for a good 2 or 3 days.
Well, hopefully everybody that's listening is going to head on over and hopefully come say hi to me, because I'd love to say thank you for making the journey.
Excellent. Well, Dirt Fest 2011, Birch Run Expo Center in Birch Run, Michigan. $20, all that remains. It's all you really need to say, but there's a huge punch behind that, too, and I want to thank Matt Dalton for putting this together and keeping metal going for us.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.